Do you think you know what foods you can bring through TSA? Think again. Don't get caught at security. Watch this video first. Welcome back to Park and Post. Today, I will be talking about a super important topic. If you've ever wondered what you can and can't bring through airport security, stick around because I've got you covered with the top 10 rules you need to know. Number 1. When traveling with food, one of the more straightforward TSA rules is that solid foods are generally allowed through security checkpoints. These foods include items like sandwiches, fruits, vegetables, baked goods, and even snacks like granola bars or chips. The key distinction here is that these items must be truly solid. If there's any ambiguity in their state, such as a spreadable item like peanut butter, it could be classified as a liquid or gels, which comes with stricter limitations. It's important to note that even though solid foods are permitted, they might still undergo inspection if they trigger alarms during screening or if TSA officers need to ensure they don't hide prohibited items. To ensure a smooth experience, travelers should pack solid foods in clear, resealable bags, making it easier for TSA officers to inspect them if needed. Foods that are questionable in consistency should be placed in smaller containers under 3.4 ounces, especially if they are semi-solid such as dips, sauces, or spreads. Alternatively, consider purchasing such items after passing through security or at your destination to avoid potential issues at the checkpoint. By following these guidelines, you can avoid unnecessary delays and ensure that your food items make it through security without a hitch. Number 2. The 311 rule is a fundamental TSA guideline that dictates how liquids, gels, and aerosols must be packed when traveling by air. Each passenger is allowed to carry liquids, gels, and aerosols in containers no larger than 3.4 ounces, and all containers must fit into a single, clear, quart-sized plastic bag. This rule applies to food items that are not fully solid, such as yogurt, salad dressings, jams, and even certain types of cheese that have a spreadable consistency. The rule ensures that these items can be easily inspected while limiting the amount each passenger can bring, which helps maintain security and safety on board the aircraft. To comply with the 311 rule, travelers should carefully assess the consistency of the food items they plan to bring. If any item falls under the liquid, gel, or aerosol category, it should be placed in a TSA-compliant container. For larger quantities, or for items that don't fit within the size restrictions, consider placing them in checked luggage or purchasing them after passing through security. Being proactive about adhering to this rule can help avoid confiscation of items at the security checkpoint, ensuring that you retain your food items for the flight. Number 3. Frozen foods are another category of items that are permitted through TSA security checkpoints, provided they meet specific conditions. The primary requirement is that the frozen items must be completely solid at the time of screening. If they are partially melted and contain any liquid, they are subject to the 311 liquid rule, which could lead to the item being confiscated if it exceeds the allowed quantity. This rule is particularly relevant for travelers bringing frozen meats, seafood, or other perishable items that need to remain cold during the flight. To ensure frozen foods remain solid throughout the journey to the airport, it's advisable to pack them in a high-quality cooler or insulated bag, accompanied by sufficient ice packs or dry ice, which is also allowed but has its own restrictions. Timing is crucial. Ensure that your frozen items are packed just before you leave for the airport and check the condition of your ice packs. If the food begins to thaw before reaching the checkpoint, it could lead to complications, so consider the duration of your travel and the ambient temperature during transit. By properly preparing and packing your frozen foods, you can minimize the risk of them being confiscated and ensure they stay fresh for your journey. Number 4. Traveling with infants requires specific accommodations, and TSA provides special exemptions for baby food, formula, breast milk, and juice. Unlike regular liquids, which must adhere to the 311 rule, these items can be carried in quantities greater than 3.4 ounces when necessary for the flight. However, parents and guardians must declare these items to TSA officers at the security checkpoint for additional screening. This screening process may include X-ray inspection or manual inspection to ensure the safety of these items while still allowing parents to carry the necessary supplies for their infants. To facilitate this process, it's best to pack baby food and formula in containers that are easily accessible and clearly labeled. Declaring these items upfront can help expedite the screening process, though you should still be prepared for additional scrutiny and possibly extra time at the checkpoint. It's also advisable to only bring the amount needed for the flight to reduce the volume of items that need to be screened. By being transparent with TSA agents and following these guidelines, you can ensure that your baby's food and supplies are allowed through security, providing peace of mind during your travels. Number 5. Duty-free liquids purchased after passing through airport security can exceed the usual 3.4-ounce limit, provided they are packed in a secure tamper-evident bag (STEB) by the retailer. These bags are specifically designed to allow travelers to carry larger quantities of liquids, such as alcohol or perfumes, purchased in duty-free shops while still maintaining security protocols. However, it's important to keep the STEB sealed and intact until you reach your final destination. Breaking the seal before you've completed your journey can result in the liquids being confiscated at subsequent security checkpoints, especially if you have a connecting flight. If you're planning to purchase duty-free liquids, ensure that the retailer places them in STEB and provides the appropriate receipt, as you may be required to show this during inspection. Be mindful of the rules for connecting flights, especially if you'll be passing through additional security checkpoints in other countries, where regulations may differ. Keeping your STEB sealed and intact is crucial to avoiding issues, allowing you to carry your duty-free items without hassle. Before we move on, I want to take a moment to express my gratitude. If you're new to our channel, please subscribe and click the bell to be notified of our latest travel tips, and share this information with your friends and family, and don't forget to join our free newsletter and become a friend of Park and Post. By signing up, you'll receive exclusive offers and updates. Click the link below to join our newsletter and start enjoying the benefits today. But let's get back to the topic. TSA rules for traveling with food. Number 6. When it comes to traveling with alcoholic beverages, TSA has specific guidelines that must be followed. Alcoholic beverages with an alcohol content of less than 70% are permitted in carry-on bags, but they must adhere to the 311 rule, meaning each container can be no larger than 3.4 ounces, and all containers must fit within a single quart-sized bag. Beverages with an alcohol content above 70%, 140 proof, are strictly prohibited in both carry-on and checked luggage due to safety concerns. These rules are in place to ensure the safe transportation of flammable liquids while also allowing passengers to bring small quantities of alcohol for personal use. If you wish to bring larger quantities of alcohol, it's recommended to place them in checked luggage, ensuring that the bottles are well packed to avoid breakage. Be aware of the regulations regarding alcohol importation in your destination country, as these can vary widely. For smaller quantities within the 311 rule, consider purchasing travel-sized bottles or transferring your beverage into TSA-compliant containers. Understanding these restrictions and planning accordingly can help you bring your alcoholic beverages without running into issues at the security checkpoint. Number 7. Meat, seafood, and other perishable items are allowed through TSA checkpoints, provided they are packed appropriately. These items can be brought in a carry-on or checked luggage, but they must be kept cold with ice packs, dry ice, or a similar substance. The key rule is that the ice or ice packs must be completely solid when going through security. If they have melted and contain liquid, they will be subject to the 311 rule, which could result in the items being confiscated. This rule is designed to ensure the safety and freshness of perishable goods while also maintaining TSA's liquid restrictions. To avoid issues, pack perishable items in a cooler or insulated bag with solid ice packs that will last through your trip to the airport. If using dry ice, make sure to check the airline's regulations, as there may be limits on the amount allowed. Timing is essential. Pack your items just before leaving for the airport and check that the ice packs remain solid until you reach the checkpoint. By preparing your perishable foods correctly, you can ensure they remain fresh and compliant with TSA regulations. Number 8. TSA allows passengers to carry fresh fruits and vegetables through security checkpoints when traveling within the continental United States. These items are considered safe and are not subject to the same scrutiny as liquids or gels. However, when traveling internationally or to U.S. territories like Hawaii, Puerto Rico, and the U.S. Virgin Islands, there are stricter regulations due to concerns about introducing foreign pests and diseases. As such, certain fruits and vegetables may be confiscated if they are not allowed in the destination. For domestic travel, pack fresh produce in clear, resealable bags to facilitate inspection. Ensure that fruits and vegetables are easily accessible for screening, as TSA agents may need to inspect them more closely if they trigger alarms or are packed with other items that require inspection. For international travel, it's crucial to check the specific agricultural regulations of your destination to avoid having your items confiscated upon arrival. By following these guidelines, you can safely bring fresh produce on your domestic flights while avoiding complications when traveling internationally. Number 9. Foods that are packed in cans or jars, such as canned meats, vegetables, or jarred sauces, may be subject to additional scrutiny at TSA checkpoints. These items are often flagged for inspection because their packaging can obscure the contents, making it difficult for X-ray machines to accurately identify what's inside. Additionally, depending on the consistency of the food inside, they may be classified as liquids or gels, thus falling under the 311 rule. If the contents are not solid and the container exceeds 3.4 ounces, it could be confiscated. To avoid issues, consider transferring the contents of cans or jars into smaller TSA-compliant containers if possible. Alternatively, place these items in your checked luggage where they are less likely to be scrutinized. If you must bring the original packaging, be prepared for possible delays at the security checkpoint, as TSA agents may need to inspect the item more closely. Understanding these risks and preparing accordingly can help ensure that your canned or jarred foods make it through security without being confiscated. Number 10. If you're traveling with food items that are gift-wrapped, be aware that TSA agents may need to unwrap them for inspection. This rule applies especially to items wrapped in foil or opaque wrapping that prevents the contents from being easily identified through X-ray machines. Gift-wrapped food items are often flagged for inspection to ensure they do not contain prohibited items, which means that even if they pass through the X-ray without triggering alarms, TSA agents may still need to open them to confirm their contents. To avoid delays or the disappointment of having your carefully wrapped gifts unwrapped, consider leaving food gifts unwrapped until after you pass through security. You can pack wrapping paper or gift bags in your carry-on and wrap the items once you reach your destination. This approach ensures that your food gifts remain intact and presentable while also complying with TSA regulations. By planning ahead, you can avoid unnecessary hassle at the checkpoint and ensure that your gifts remain a pleasant surprise for the recipient. And there you have it. 10 essential TSA rules for traveling with food. Follow these tips, and you'll breeze through security with all your favorite snacks and goodies intact. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe for more travel tips and tricks. Safe travels, and see you in the next video.